Welcome everybody, this Friday, December 3rd, amazing. So let's see if we are live and alive everywhere. That's the first empirical thing that we're going to do on our sprint, our 46th sprint today of the Friday Live Agile of the Dare Real Agile podcast with your host, Coach AF, and we dare because we care. Transform the me into the we. So let's see this. Yes, we're live on YouTube. Are we also live on Twitter, the toxic politics?
Yes, we're live on YouTube.
Yes, we are. And this is my new and beautiful
Twitter.
Is it Blue Yeti or Silver Yeti? I don't know, but I'm so happy.
Yes, we are. And this is
I'm so happy with the feedback. Yes, I know, Sam. Thank you to be at the control.
Blue Yeti or Silver Yeti? I don't know.
Let's kick it. And we're live too on LinkedIn. Welcome, LinkedIn. Marina, Alex, I don't know if you're really here from Moscow. Who we have. And again, this is a beta mode. This is a beta mode on LinkedIn. Happy with the feedback. Shut up, Fredo. Which means that if you want to chat with me, I won't see anything. The user experience on Microsoft, again, everything that Microsoft touch, they don't have the touch. You see what I mean? So I'll might keep the window open, and I don't like this because sometimes it's crumbling like crazy. But anyways, the 14 people who said they will join me today to talk about anyone who wants to modify Scrum can do it on this Friday Live Agile episode 46. And I'm really happy to be before you today. We have a lot to talk about in this next hour. So let's do this. And again, I'll take about 20 minutes, the last 20 minutes to go around everything, because the Melon app I only received the chat from YouTube and Twitter. And by the way, if you want the best viewership experience to watch those amazing business agility, lean, and Scrum live that I do every Friday at 12 noon Eastern time, which is 11 Central, 6 p.m. for our friend in Northern Africa, as well as Europe, Central Europe, and of course 5 p.m. for the UK people that I love so much, especially my Scrum Alliance family. So tell me, as I am using this new Silver Yeti, because I'm building a kick-ass business agility studio. So it's going to be very amazing into 2022. And by the way, hope you'll join me live, and we're gonna interact live. We're gonna make maybe a test of having this all together. So once again, I'm Alexandre Frédéric Joly, your coach AF on everything business agility, open space technology, Scrum, the Scrum way, and we're gonna see today what is Scrum really about. The music you're listening today, it's brought to you by my family of Chill Your Mind music from Ibiza. And yes, so chill your mind, guys, because this is the Agile Lounge way of teaching you with music. It's musical therapy. And I'm just happy to be with you and welcoming 8 new subscribers on my growing YouTube channel once again. 5 new followers also on the LinkedIn company page of Agile Lounge for Business Agility. It's a happy time for me and for my team, and we are doing great thing. And we are going to announce also my new, I don't know how to call it. It's more than a partnership. Anyways, I'm going to be part of an amazing team in Western Canada for delivering value and digital transformation and more. So I'm going to talk about it very soon. So for December, we are going to have something like next Friday the 10th, we are having a French show for my 16-17% of subscribers that follow me across all platforms. They are Francophone. So I'm going to please them with a show in French. I don't know the topic yet. And the topic of today, by the way, it's brought to you by Nancy Maltaski. Nancy Maltaski, among other people, wanted to know how Scrum is or how Scrum is not, or what is bad Scrum, good Scrum. And just before we jump into the the amazing topic that I would like to discuss with you, inspired, of course, by the giant of Scrum. And it's all fresh up. It's all fresh up still. So let's go see a glimpse of my last interview with the giant of Scrum and open space business agility. The amazing, you're gonna see his name. And that was the second time that he came into my mic, and it was just amazing. So the video is still there on my YouTube channel, especially. You go there and you watch it. Who decides? That's the title on YouTube. And if you'd like the podcast, grab it and run with me. You are going to have it mostly. It's called Decision Rights and Scrums. So, okay. So what is going on again? So let's do a glimpse of it, and I'll come back with you to talk about even more than who decides in Scrum. Okay, let's do this.
And these patterns are part of what you teach at the Open Business Agility courses, or
it's... That's right. Okay. Yeah. The eight patterns of open business agility. Basically, if you study Scrum and you ask the question, why does it work? You're going to boil it down. It's going to come down to these patterns, okay? Now, interaction protocols, that's what we do in the daily Scrum. The daily Scrum, we say, in the early days of Scrum, we said we answered 3 questions, right? And then in the modern day, Jeff and Ken said, use any protocol you want, but get to the bottom of what's going on today.
Yes.
Okay, so they've actually relaxed Scrum so that you have more freedom than ever to implement it your way. But you got to introduce these patterns.
But this is funny, Daniel, because for me, since the beginning, I'm experimenting with Scrum. Back in the last century, it was always slack. I was confronting when I started doing some mandate into the banking industry, like, oh, all of a sudden, it needed to be exactly what the Scrum guy said. I said, what Scrum guy? Because I was not aware. Even being participator of Scrum Alliance, of course, I knew there was something, but I mean, I said, like, what Scrum guy? It's the people choice. They will have to create a pattern that's good for their development cycle and also for the business interaction. It's all about the interaction of people even beyond the Scrum team. So for me, that was a no-brainer saying this it's a slacker. Like last November, a lot of people was, Scrum is less prescribed. I said, it was never, ever in
Oh no! And nobody told me. There's 9 people in the fucking chat. Nobody. So you see again, this is a bad experience. This is a bad experience from Melon app once again, because usually I should control from this button. Man, this is now I'm not an happy customer. Melon app, I'm gonna kick you out and use Restream. Because this panel, there's too many stuff that serve nothing. So that's mean it's been about 5 minutes I was okay. So, man, and it's live, so I cannot even go backslash. This is a killer. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry for my follower who are here right now and they're gonna watch the replay. So I will have to cut it. So let's see. That's probably why I'm on the 7 people. There's let's see it. Is there a chat? And once again, Microsoft, LinkedIn. Not even able to push the people commenting. So let's do it. Sorry for the feedback now. Watch the replay. Is there a message on LinkedIn? Because I have to go on LinkedIn event live page to see if someone is there. So comment. No, nobody has. Okay, so let's starting over. Let's do it again because I'm assuming then the 3 points that I was speaking. Because I just saw I was on mute, so let's see it now. Am I fully? It's the what is this? Oh my god! My new mic works perfectly. I'm sorry about this thing, but come on, what happened? Melon today when I started had something like I was like, What is this new alert? Why? So every time I wipe up my cache on Chrome, I should be careful. But I tested on Wednesday, not the mic, but the studio. Because when I do a cache, I test it on my personal channel just to have fun. But it was on my MacBook. That's why. Shit. So sorry about that. I'm very, very sorry about that. I hope you accept my apologize and my failure. So let's do it again. So I was telling you that following the glimpse of my last interview with Daniel Mezic, the giant of Scrum, and Nancy Maltaski, who asked me about, is Scrum really an open source? Could we actually configure it the way we want? And I answered her yes, and she said well, would you like to talk about it more in deep, because we hear you saying it in other lives and so on. So yes, Nancy, I'll do it. And by the way, Nancy, I thank you so very much for your insight that you give me in private email, and I can wait when you'll be able to show up in the world and do it live or in the comment below, like I encourage everyone to say. And by the way, I'd like also to be thankful to Judy, Carly, and Lewis for their tips, all in Bitcoin. Bitcoin forever. This is the new exchange value coming up for the next decade of our Traverse. So thank you so very much. And again, so let's ensure the fact that yes, Scrum is open source and fully configurable. Why is that? There's 3 facts that remains with Scrum. And this is inspired by the great work of Dan Lefebvre and Daniel Mezic, among other people that help us understanding better. And this is my role, actually. I'm just a facilitator. I'm a conduit of it. So the first element that's Scrum defines abundant cells-like structure that we call the Scrum team that has everything it needs to execute cycle of work that we call sprint and produce a working product. And I would like to add about a working product, like the new generation that's coming into the market of workplace as well as consumer. They want more experience. They want it like my experience right now with Microsoft LinkedIn combined with the Melon app of Streamlab. I'm not happy. Okay, Melon app is 6 out of 10. So I'm probably going to start testing more another tool to provide you also the follower, even if it's free. You know, you have to understand one thing. Whether it's free, whether it's on volunteering mode like I do, I'm not really a podcaster or YouTuber. I'm a business consultant, okay? I'm a business consultant, and I'm helping business of any size, team within business or no, on demand to achieve their goals and apply a system that will work for them. And this is why I'm doing Scrum way since 1999, moreover 2002, because this is the way. Because I think with Scrum, the way it is, like open and you could change. I'm going to get to this. So the first point again is really about the team. It's all about the team, and it's capable people, high potential people, skilled people, and they will be able to produce work, and they will have decision rights and so on. So the second point, as a fact that remains for the Scrum openness, is Scrum is readily accessible and free to the world. That was the intent of Dr. Schutterland and Ken Schwaber when they kind of commercialize it. They publish it open source under the Creative Commons B by SA40 licenses. This is mean it's published open source. It's free like air, free like water. So you could take water and make a beer with it. You could, isn't it true? You could take air and make balloons and have fun. So that's the point. Okay. So I couldn't care less of the opinions of anyone's old scrummies or what have you, and it is not prescribed. Stop with that. Stop it with that. And by the way, nowadays, the only critic that I will read on medium.com and maybe sometimes on LinkedIn about Scrum will be mostly from people who have proven experience and have proven like kind of, they taste it, they try it and everything. And the third and last point on the fact remains on the open source of Scrum is Scrum was the first social system schema. When I told you that Scrum is a system, this is what I mean. Okay, Scrum is a system. Within it, it will unleash you the ability to create frameworks or give structure to those teams that we talked before. Okay, and the fact that it's open source, that you just have to cite where you're taking your inspiration or the way you co-created with the base of Scrum, and we're going to get to this very soon. So that was really the first social system, taking a lean project management type of in the manufacturing and bring it into the software development where there were complex domain, because yes, it's working great in complex domain and R&D and innovation systems. Okay, as such, Scrum helped solve the wicked problem, namely how to organize software engineering to improve value delivery results. And this is why, and the glimpse that I showed you, and you could still see it on my YouTube channel right now, it's called Who Decides, Who Decides? But I'm sorry, the team decides, and they have to knock at the right door of the right person at the right moment to have the budget and everything they need to be a cell-like structured team that we call the Scrum team, the Scrum way, hard and disruptive, to innovate and to navigate in the complexity. So in summary, Scrum is such an easy target for bashing, isn't it? As I talked just a little bit earlier, I'm really sick and tired, and it made me want to quit, but I will never quit for those bastards. Yes, I'm calling you out. Those bastards who just don't understand substantion, they don't understand this empirical process control, EPC again, empirical process control. I insist. Scrum is unleashing and apply the principles and patterns of the empirical process control. It's all about science, and it's all about being sportive enough, okay, to kick some ass, to deliver what the client wants. Once it's agreed, when it's decided, okay? So you're bashing it because you're not skilled, because you're not high potential, because you don't care about your client, okay? You just care about the money, or you just care about using tools to comfort you into some kind of structure and systems, all right? And when we say it's free, because the Scrum system, whether it's you take something from Scrum Inc., Scrum Alliance, Scrum Org, you really have to just mention that, yes, I'm inspiring myself from this work of Roman Pichler, of Jason Little, this and that. And it's a kind of a common agreement, like it's open source, like the Bitcoin blockchain protocol. You build in the block, it's a code open to anyone to use anonymously and everything. So this, you understand that the substantion, it's even more powerful than decentralization in that case, as a social schema system. Okay, so listen. Anyone who wants to modify Scrum can do it. So that is the clear, explicit answers, guys. Okay, there's no such things as applying the Scrum guide as it is, applying exactly even the artifact. Okay, some of my team, they love the simplified language of a proposed value list. So instead of a backlog, they want to name it a proposed value list, because they see this is a value item that we put into that list. Instead of a backlog, that it's a backlog on your back. See, they don't want to have retrospective every end of sprint. They decide exactly who decide. It starts with there. It starts with the TWA. I cherish this cornerstone of Scrum. It's a team working agreement when you kick off a new team or where you assemble a team. And even a team working agreement could also happen if you have someone new in the team. So sometimes I facilitate, instead of doing a retrospective, we are just doing a review of the team working agreement on the process they decide to do, and to see if they are still on their right track using this. Okay, so really listen, anyone. It's published open source. It's configurable the way you want. Okay, you could change the name, and
even within, I've got team that I follow for 5-6 years that I'm helping it. What they did in 2016 have nothing to do with what they do now. But one thing for sure is, and I'm gonna show you one thing right now. What they do is the real. How could I say that? Let's go there. So yes, this is the book. So what I want to show you is this. Okay. So this is literally the pillar. These are the 3 pillars of the empirical process control that I talked to you about. Okay. So you see, for me, it's kind of very simple. You have the transparency, which is very important. Make everything that you do, that you work on, available to see to every stakeholders. So you will even have less reporting in that sense. Because if anyone could walk in or could have access, all right, to your board and the flow and the cycle and everything where you are at, so they could have a gauge of, oh yes, we're on track. And it's really visual. It's very, very visual. Adaptation. Okay, to change tactical direction. Yes, even strategically. Even I remember being in a meeting of a retrospective, and some system engineer says like, oh, we should review the infrastructure because that might need it to be adapted with these new whatever operating system within the machine that will affect the thing. So it's adaptation to new machine, to clouding. Let's say that you came from Azure environment and then you implement AWS Connect. But they need adaptation. So it's okay to change the tooling. It's okay also to change the process. So the example I was giving you about Urban Acolyte, my client in Austin, Texas, we built them on Scrum. But the thing is, even if they change the tactical direction or the way they produce their goods and software, they always respect this tie. I call it the tie: transparency, adaptation, and inspection. And in the inspection, it's the power of the retrospective and also the review of the product. Because remember, retrospective, it's all in. Okay, it's all in about the process. It's all the tactical ways and the patterns that you're utilizing to deliver the working product. And the inspection, that will include that part of the retrospective itself. And you know what? I've got a team that they don't even call it a retrospective. They call it the inspector office. The inspector office. So they go into the inspector office and they talked about how they could adapt and have more transparency. So you see, they even loop back into these 3 pillars of the empirical process control. So check your work as you do it. And by the way, this is another thing. Some teams in their team working agreement, they said like, we're going to do this kind of classical, conventional, retrospective once a month with the team, and we're gonna even invite the business people into it just to show them things about where we are and the way that we deliver these goods that they ask for. So they even invite some users sometimes. So I love these guys. These guys are very amazing. So once a month, and they have 2-week cycle of production. And they even going towards something like more DevOps anyways. But once a month, they like to gather more people. And this is not a review. It's about the process. They explain how they make transparent the process to everyone. And sometimes it's not just like goofy things on Monday.com or Jira or Trello or what have you. Sometimes you need to be engaged into a conversation, hybrid or not, who could care less, okay? So that's the power of this. And just maybe to show you this quick, where am I? Okay, I'm sorry about this. I really don't like this experience with Melon, I'm telling you. I should not have to do what I'm just doing it now. I should be able to show you everything. It's incredible. Is it better now? Thank you, Anna. Yeah, I have to switch screen. I should not have. This is a bad user experience, guys. So anyways, so you see 24 hours a day, 20 days cycle, they call sprint backlog. So this is the classic, this is the conventional one. But from this drawing, according to your cycle within the team,
you could do and unleash anything you want. Let me tell you. Okay. And by the way, a lot of people have book clubs and this and that. I'm highly okay. I highly recommend you read that first book of Scrum. Of course, it's very engineer, architecture, the software development oriented, but nevertheless, about like 150-page, wrote by the co-founder of Scrum, Ken Schwaber, and Mike Beadle, the first user, the first CEO to have built a Scrum flat managed empirical process control company. So agile software development with Scrum. It's really, I think it's an amazing book to read. When I coach right now, I've got about 19 Scrum Master that I coach, and I highly suggest that they read that book. Not as the first one, because right now you might have read a lot of things. You might have read a lot of things, but I highly suggest that they actually go on and discover this fundamental about the empirical process. We take from science and then we apply into these strategy and tactical process control that we could do, and it have to be agreed by the team. When we talk about self-management, this is what it means. It doesn't mean chaos or anarchy. It means that let those specialists build the team and decide what they need and everything. So yeah, you take it, you derive from it, you add things, you remove things, you edit it, you delete some stuff. Sorry, and then you go publish it, like I do on my website, agilelounge.com, under a clever new name, if you like, Spotify system. Spotify system, this is the base of Scrum. This is the TIE system: transparency, adaptation, and inspection. Okay, this is the empirism. And Jeff and Ken, they really, and this is perfectly legal. It's not like this first system, the big first thing. This is licensing. You have to pay. And when I see an organization, even big organization, like having a business consultant or a sweat design agile coach, going into places and improvising him or herself as leading and facilitating RTM for release train manager, because that's another mistake. Dean Link well. Dean Link well. He's an engineer. I'm an engineer, and I would like to put more structure and more process. And I don't care about the people. It's technology first, and we are the. So this is already the core thing about what I despise about SAFe. Whether a lot of people have made some great things, but the thing is, it's not open enough, is not substantive enough, is not decentralized enough. So here's my point. So anyways, so do you know that any organization that using SAFe without purchasing the licensings from the Scale Agile framework, they are illegal. But with the Scrum systems, you're not. It's open source. And actually, the funny thing is, at the base, especially if you read the book that I showed you before, Agile Software Development with Scrum, you're gonna see that the people around Dean Link well, you'll be able to see that they use the base of EPC, that stands for empirical process control, but they soften it. They soften it, and among the three pillars of any organization, which is technology, people, and process, they will emphasize on the technology and the process and people less. So that's one mistake that make me say objectively that SAFe is not agile, and it's not even Scrum, even if they kind of gathered opinion. But the funny thing is that they try to transform some part of Scrum, as we openly encourage you to do with Jeff and Ken, but they make it an industrial agile complex of a complicated thing that you need always a consultant from McKesson or what have you to help you out in this like crazy kind of things. Anyways, the show, it's about open source Scrum, and I think I've proven like just the fact that it's creative, common, open source, and it's perfectly legal, and Jeff and Ken are courageous. So please don't tell me you have a superior idea, something better than Scrum, because what you probably actually have in mind is a Scrum derivative. Period. That might get superior result in some specific settings, specific contexts, especially into the complexity of the development of technology. I agree. But it's always, actually, we say Scrum, but it's the empirical process control at the base of it that will be able to help you create process framework or patterns of doing the work. Okay? So use Scrum as your starting point. Apply the CHOISI of martial art. Make change. Show us your brains. Show us how much superior you think you are, and the way you understand the empirical process control. But again, as Mike Beadle and myself, we keep saying, if you don't understand the substantial and the atomic level that you could apply to the biogenetic of social human interaction, you won't be able to show us your brilliance. Show us how your best ideas make good thing better delivery, business value. Are you in tune with who decides? Who pay you? Who pay for you to help them achieve better, to crack down their competition, to be the first into the market? Okay, so here, this is the idea about the openness of Scrum and the fully configurability of Scrum. So it was never ever prescriptive. Stop with it. And it's not either a one way. It's not either a one size fit all. It's really something that you could develop, co-create, name a different name. Spotify is probably the greater example of it. So on that, my beautiful loungers, and again, I'm sorry for the beginning of that show. I'm going to see how I could have did it. I will have to wait till, especially on YouTube, because LinkedIn and Twitter, I'm fucked. So let's take this last 15-20 minutes to see, because I see a lot of things here. There's about 15 people listening right now. So let's see. On LinkedIn especially, do we have people on LinkedIn that have questions or comment? And again, it's so let's take this I'm sorry about that, about this feedback. So no, nobody's there. I saw, not even, I cannot see views here. There's apparently 3 people watching on LinkedIn. Hi guys, I'm right now watching my LinkedIn screen. That's the only way in this beta mode that I could see your comment live. If you have something to say, tell it to me right now. If you have a question, an opinion, a fact, whatever about the subject of Scrum as an open source system that you could create any framework. I know there's a delay of 15 seconds. So I'm here. I don't know if Anna Maria is there, Marina, Pouchard. Tell me who you are, the 3-4 people on LinkedIn. So while I'm waiting there, let's go see. But Twitter and YouTube, anyway, they should get in the chat room of the Melon app right there. So the time, it's a Q&A. Ask me anything you want about Scrum, business agility, the topic of today. My role was not to convince you, it was to inform you, especially last week when I had the chance to speak again with Jeff Shutterland. And so, yeah, I mean, like, people could talk shit the way they want on LinkedIn and Medium. They could bash Scrum, they could say it's failed, they could say it's not good. But again, and I insist on that, if you don't understand this interrelation at the base of it, the substantiation, and the fact this is an empirical process control. But when we say control here, it's just like to give some kind of boundaries, some kind of fence, but that will be agreed. That will be agreed by the team. It's all about the team. It's the team first. So are you shy, the 15 people total, 3 on LinkedIn that are listening right now? Tell me, what should I do to improve? And again, I'm not a podcaster. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just a passionate business consultant, entrepreneur, that fall down to have the etiquette or the title of Agile coach for
the constipated LinkedIn recruiter or what have you. Yes, I'm bold, and I proceed to be bold because I think whether we have 1 life or 2 life or 5 life. So I don't know. So about the people who said they will be here with me, I see Mariette, Melo, Anna Maria, Sandra, Guylain, Pauline, Isabelle, Sayed. So we'll leave you a couple of times to ask me things or tell me things. And again, I don't know. Let me see this here. No. Oh, and by the way, yes. I did made a survey, so let's do this while waiting for the shy people to show up with your questions or comment live. And of course, for my YouTuber especially, and I thank you so much for the 8 new subscriber. So that's one thing to reach now 420 something follower. And by the way, I was in Mexico, when we look at the number, I don't know if in Mexico I had less feature and less capability of reaching out, but I had more views than right now. So this is something for the LinkedIn marketer to have in mind. And I did grow from 80 subscribers on YouTube while I was in Mexico last year, from September 2020 all the way to March 2021, from 80 to 300. And now since April, I'm up almost at 450 now. So continue, join the experience on the YouTube. This is where it's going to be, with more content, of course, because LinkedIn, Instagram, and Twitter, I'm going to be less and less there because I'm becoming back a solopreneur type of things. Even if Anna, Samuel, and Elizabeth still have my back on some kind of activities, the only one I will keep kind of my team to continue some kind of great services and goods. That will be, of course, my accountant, because you cannot have a company without a great accountant, and she's so great too. And it will be someone to take care of the administrative process. But all about this marketing thing, I'll be on my own doing this. Yes, because we have to cut the expense. Even if I'm doing money with other business, at some point you have to make decision, right? So let's go see if my survey closed. I don't understand. I said like for 1 day, so let's go see it. And I know one survey is more than that, so I'm going to show you a couple of things on LinkedIn. Exactly. So let's see it here. You have to be ready before you spread this ID. So this is one thing that I'd like to go later. Sorry about this. Okay, excuse me. I don't know. Some people say like the age make you fail, like the leaf on the tree. I used to be a lot more multitasker than that, and more when I, not growing up, but it seems that I feel the need of being more in quality of presence and contact with you than showing whiteboarding this and that. Like, I can do this, but I mean, like, it's really not my cup of tea. So where it is, man. Okay. Interesting. Here it is. Oh my God. Again, I won't even share my screen because it's... So I asked the question for the live of today. Scrum is configurable, prescriptive, open, and proprietary. 870 people view it, 1 vote. What is this with this engagement? What am I doing wrong? If nobody telling me, so here's the thing. There's 5 people watching on LinkedIn right now. You don't even interact with me. You don't even give me some kind of thumbs up, hearts. You don't even ask questions. You don't even tell me that my accent sucks, huh? Like some people tell me in private message. I don't care about these things. What I want to know is what what should I do to please my audience? Because often it's always the same people that come back, and a lot of people that I don't even know from Europe, from Russia, from Brazil. So this is the people that I don't know. They are really remote, that actually interact more with me in private message, and they are meaningful, they are engaged, and so on. But what I'd like to do as an experimentation here, even if I told you that my main goal is I'm an entrepreneur, I'm not a YouTuber. I don't want to have 1 million and this and that. I don't want to monetize. It's not even a revenue stream. And the donation is just helping me cutting the expense like this, and of course, and it's also helping me exchanging Bitcoins with the community of my blockchain protocol and any of the other things, because this is where it's going. As an entrepreneur, it's not the agile and business agility well, especially with the conventional and the industrial complex, that will make me it. So anyways, 870 people view it in about 1 day, and only 1 people vote. Of course, this is open, so I don't want even to see it. So anyways, the other topic that I questioned to see how we could improve our communication over at the Agile Lounge for Business Agility, and maybe me as a consultant, is what's the best time to post on LinkedIn? So that's an interesting one, because now you see I've got 713 views, so less view than the other. And of course I tag people so let's see it. Could we share this screen? Oh, someone in the chat. Sorry about that. I was not like Mohan Power. Hi, how are you? So you're on YouTube. Thank you very much. Do you have any question, Mohan? If I pronounce your first name well, Mohan or Moha? Mohan, I will say. So tell me, how are you doing? Where are you from? And how did you discover this channel? So I'll get back to you very soon. So let's see this. Chrome. So you see here, what is the best time to post on LinkedIn? So 11 votes, 713 views. So right now, lunchtime seems to be the winner here with 55%. This is always what I think. And of course, I didn't ask for the day, but there were meaningful comments, very meaningful comments. So let's see this. So François today is telling us the morning is the best time because people have all day to react. And the more early reaction you have, the more LinkedIn will show your posts. Interesting. This is what my thought too. But François and Simon agreed with you. But my thing is often my 2,300 followers, especially on LinkedIn, are from probably 8 time zone. So that's a question to be asked, right? If they are in different time zone, what is the morning? So of course, if you have a clear network in North America, I could agree with that, especially the business people, the real business people. They like to wake up in the morning. I remember one of my roommates back in the day when I was at the university. Back then it was the chat room because there were no social network in 1996. But we had chat rooms on the internet for those who remember the BBS. And she was doing her coffee, opening her computer, the desktop, big computer, and she was going into the chat room and the forum to see what happened. So, of course, that was sometimes from people overseas during the night and so on. So, and when Facebook came in 2004, and I was an early adopter with that, with my colleague at the University of Arizona, that was the same principle, because Facebook was built upon these forum group that we had before the web that we see you see today. So very interesting, Francois. I agree with that myself, but and it's really funny. EM dude. So I could call you dude, and Mr. DJ. Oh, you're a DJ too. So let's jam, man. Oh, and speaking of jam, I want to show you also this invitation that I made here. Okay, I would really love to create a kind of a Teamcast and Joe Rogan. Oh my God, I made a mistake here. Jesus Christ. Of Agility podcast. Talked everything about agility, open space technology, Scrum, lean stuff. Of course, not safe, not really safe, not even to bash safe. So I invite my fellow buddy, Michael Herman, Antonio, Milanj Behik, and Daniel Mizik, and Peter Fishback. So I think I'm creating a momentum here. Do we have... Here he goes. That sounds fun. Happy to join. So let's do this. Let's do this. I would really love to do this. And again, it's an open mic. It's a virtual open space for first. And now I'm getting more and more microphone and more headset, all silver and orange. I don't know. But at some point, I know, like Peter, you're in Germany. Daniel, you're in an undisclosed location in Connecticut. So we could start like virtually. But really, go to teamcast.com and just see the setting. Because for me, this is really all about that kind of setting of openness and sorry about that. So yeah, it's all about just having a kind of a lean cafe. Call it whatever you want. I just want, like, we sit all around, up to 6 people, like a great Scrum team, and we talk. There's even not a topic. This is what I like about Teamcast, because they have a guest and they have 5 collaborators, and the 6 of them, they just talked about the random subject for about 2 hours. But of course, in their case, it's more like about sociology and political and economic, and the way of life and the alternative way of life. And for us, it could be alternative ways of doing business. It could be anything about business agility. The real agile fundamental of let's talk about everything that pleases us, and like an open space, and I call it an open mic. And so why do we need absolutely to program everything? Could we just be like improvising like this? So let's say like we do it once a month here at the Friday Live Agile, if you'd like, what have you. So yes, it's an invitation, and I will follow up on this LinkedIn post. So Mohan, thank you for your passage. I don't know if you're part of the 17 people watching right now. So I thank you very much for liking this video. Share it to spark anyone. And again, for the replay, the best viewership experience is on the channel of YouTube channel, the growing YouTube channel. This is there. You should subscribe. And thanks for the like, by the way. I don't know who it is, but thank you. So 420, bring me to 500 at least, something like this, and engage more, participate. Yes, I'm very thankful of all the insight that I received by email, especially from my jogger of the Day Real Agile podcast. You could actually, if you go on DuckDuckGo.com or on into the the Google, whatever, and if you type Day Real Agile, you're gonna find Day Real Agile, the podcast. For those who prefer to grab it in your pocket and run with me, why not? And otherwise, if you want to see it live like this while you're working, every Friday I'm live. And by the way, December, I'm going to do December 10th and 17th. Next week is going to be in French for my French followers. And when I should say Francophone followers, because it's not just friends. And the week after, it's going to be probably the recording of the podcast for, I don't know. Let's be empirical. But for sure, the 24th, it will be off probably, because I'm doing a special event, maybe this open mic at 4 p.m. Eastern on the 31st, an on retrospective. Yes, motherfucker, you hear me? It's going to be an on retrospective. So let's go see if one last time on LinkedIn, there's 5 people watching on LinkedIn. Are you there in the comments? So I have to start it over again. Cutting the feed, and no. And this is very bizarre, because sometimes when I end the live stream, this is our beta. It's not meta, it's beta. Microsoft is with his LinkedIn Live, or other LinkedIn star tell me I'm wrong, but this is so far without paying. And of course, Melon app is not one of the apps that I could do it on my channel. But anyway, there's 5 people watching here. This is what I see on direct and live. And sometimes when I shut down when I closing the Melon app, now I see the comments with a timer where they comment. But right now, because I'm live, I don't see anything. And this is Microsoft programmer or user experience people. Don't create a fake comment chat. Create a chat. If you want to do live, I know you start with stories back last summer and then you cut it. But if you want to keep your live and if you want us to interact with our followers and people who are interested, make it that even like I'm not even talking about having the chat into my Melon app studio. Just having a live chat right here, right now, then I could see, not after, because people are not engaged in that sense. So just the tips, just the UX design tips. Okay, should not be difficult to do, but of course, Microsoft.net. I will say that much. And Twitter and LinkedIn, they should get inside here. So, Mon, again, thanks for passing. So, again, fellow business agilist, business consultant, I hope you like it. If you didn't like it, make me a thumbs down. But in the comment below, tell me what should I improve, not on necessarily my communication skills, but on what do you want. Like today, I tried to please a couple of followers, including Nancy Maltaski, who wanted to hear from the Jeff and Ken and others people. And this is why I kind of read you a resume of a couple of my conversation with the real Scrummies. And I hope it's clear now. It's published, open source, and you could do whatever you want. So again, thank you for your tips and Bitcoin, especially. The link are in the description of the YouTube video. I wish you a beautiful, amazing weekend, people. See you next Friday, December the 10th, same time, same place. Cheers.
How to feel